Hi, creative friends. This is Freya, and thank you so much for being here. So, I am going to be making some art journal pages out of brown paper bags, and I thought I'd make a video on creating first layers on brown paper bags. All I did was I deconstructed 3 brown paper bags. I figured out the size that I wanted my pages to be. I marked it off with a pencil, and then I just ripped it organically along the edges. I didn't use a ruler or a pair of scissors because I wanted a raw, organic look that I absolutely love. Now, before I go into this tutorial, I just wanted to comment that I have been messing around with different microphones ever since I think it was about 4 weeks ago that I received a comment that people couldn't hear my videos very well. So I got a microphone that had really good recommendations and it was fairly pricey, but I didn't have any luck with it, unfortunately. I made a few videos on it. I tried all sorts of things and it was just getting a lot of static. So I have been going back and forth trying out different microphones, and I think I finally found one that I like. Now, if you guys can leave me a comment and tell me, are you guys having trouble hearing me? Do you notice any difference? Is it any better? I'd really appreciate it. So let's just dive right into this creating first layers on brown paper bags. Now, this is going to be pure fun. I absolutely love the humble feel and color of brown paper bags. Now, what I'm going to do is just show you, first of all, the excess that I had from the brown paper bags. I am not going to throw it away, not at all. There are so many ways that I can use this in my future art projects, from junk journaling to my art journals, that I'm just going to save it. I keep it away in my little stash. So I would recommend that you save these. And I'm just going to lay that off to the side. Now, the very first thing I want to do is I want to crumple this up because I really like a very, organic crumbled up texture, but that's up to you, the way you want to approach your pages. Ooh, look at that. It is so beautiful already, and I haven't even done anything to it. I just love this. It's just gorgeous. Oh my God. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So now, what I wanted to note is that if you're going for a high contrast, then colors like green and blue are really going to offset the warm brown of this paper. Of course, black and white are really going to stand out. And because I really love the warm colors, I am also going to use reds, oranges, and pinks. Um, so it's totally up to you how you want to approach the colors that you're going to use on this. And I am going to let a lot of the brown paper show through because that's the whole purpose of using the brown paper. So here we go. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do is use my blue Stabilo. And because, like I said, blue is really going to contrast with this, one of the ways I am going to mess this up and create my first layers is just by using my blue Stabilo and just randomly making marks. So I'm not thinking too much about what I'm doing. I'm still in my beginner's mind. I'm still playing, just having fun, creating um, a mindset of experimenting, just being curious, just, figuring out like, hey, what's going to happen if I do this, or what's going to happen if I do that. Like, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to put over top of this, my second layers, my third layers. I'm not thinking about any of that. Now, you can also write on here. You can write poetry. You can journal on here. You can do all sorts of things. And I am going to use my chalk paint. And all I'm going to do is just make some dots. And look at that. Like, that is just, it's such a simple thing. I'm just using my fingers to make, some dots. But look at that. It is just so absolutely beautiful. I don't know what it is about the brown paper bag, but it just delights me to no end. I don't know. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's the humbleness of it and the just the organic quality of the brown paper bag. I don't know what it is. If any of you have any ideas or insights, let me know. I would appreciate it. I just love it. And now I am going to show you the white, or actually this is a cashew in the chalk paint, but if you have a titanium white, it's just really gonna go well with the brown paper. And I'm putting it over the Stabilo, so it is picking up on some of the blue, which I love. And there we go. So as you can see, I haven't done a whole lot, but already it's taking on a very um, like just a rough and tumble kind of a first layers look to it. And I just absolutely am smitten with the brown paper bag. I really, I don't know what else to say. Um, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside here. And now we're going to use another approach to creating first layers on this brown paper bag. So I have some collage and I don't want to use anything that has color on it. Now I thought that I had run out of this paper. It is handmade mulberry tie paper, and I was using it so much that I thought I didn't have any left, but I found a piece, thankfully, so I'm really grateful for that. I need to order some more. And I have some dictionary pages. I don't want to use anything with color because for right now, I don't know what my color palette is going to be, or, you know, I want to just stick to the neutrals. I don't want the color of the collage to influence the colors I put on top of it. So I'm going to stick with a very neutral um, kind of a collage here. So I think I'm just going to cut out some small pieces. These pages are not a very large size, so I can't, I can't cut very large pieces because I don't want it to dominate my page. The collage, I feel, should always, it should complement your page, and I don't really want it to dominate. So already you can see how that really changes the entire page. Just putting down this collage. And there are so many ways that you can embellish the edges of the pages here. Like once it's all done, I can get fabric trim and put it along the edges, or I can get junk mail and put that along the edges, just cut it out into strips. I can use even fabric and just cut them into little all uniform strips along the edges here and hot glue them. I mean, really, the sky's the limit into how you can choose to embellish the edges of your pages. And I'm just gonna lay it like so. And so you can see how just these two pieces of collage together, it's already made for an interesting page. And I haven't even done anything. I don't want to put too much because I do want to retain the brown paper. So I want to be like very, I want to use this collage sparingly. Now, if you had much bigger sheets, then maybe you could go with bigger pieces of collage. So I'm just gonna kind of put that there. So as you can see, I'm simply complementing this brown paper here. I am not dominating the whole entire page. It's not like when I use my cardboard books and I just cover up every single part of the book with brown paper. I mean, sorry, not with brown paper, with collage. That's not what I'm doing here. Over here, I am simply using a little bit of collage to complement the brown paper. And no matter what I do, I want to work with the brown paper. I want to work with the color brown. I want to incorporate that into my spread, because that is, you know, the purpose of using the brown paper, for me anyways, is so that I can use the brown of the page. So I'm just taking this in because I'm really loving it. So now what I'm going to do is, because I already have the black and the white, I am just going to use some of my chalk paint in ink and just try to see if I can like go over top of it, you know. It's still wet. You know, I have Mod Podge, but like, so now I'm integrating the collage onto the page with my paint. And just kind of make some dots there. And I'm just really loving this. Just taking it in. Okay, so I'm going to move that out of the way there. And now I'm going to use some of my bright colors here. I've got some orange, some pink, and I've got some reds off to the side here. Now, so let me see here. I think I'm going to add some red to the mix. Oh, I'm loving that. So I mix the orange and red, and I'm really loving that a lot more than the orange by itself. But you know, color is a personal preference, so whatever works for you. I'm just loving this red and orange mixture here. It's like a lollipop red. And dots are an easy way to go because I can just use my fingertips, but you can also use a stencil. That's also another great way to, you know, start off your layers with a brown paper bag. And because I have my pink here, I'm just going to add some pink to the mix and overlay it on top of the red here, just for interest. And I'm going to grab my Stabilo and maybe wet it a little bit too. So you can use it dry, you can use it wet, you can use your Inktense, you can use pens. And what I recommend is even, you know, like adding some script. So I just have a pen here, and you can add text to your first layers. You can write poetry, you can journal, you can write to-do lists, all sorts of wonderful juicy stuff. And you can also write upside down. You can write upside down. And you can do unintelligible writing, which is when you write one way and then you can turn it upside down and write over top of it. So you can also write unintelligible writing. And this way you have the beauty of the lines and marks without, having to write anything. You can just write in another language. You can write in a made-up language, because basically writing and text is, they're simply lines and marks that we have, given meaning to. So you can do whatever you want to do. This is your spread, this is your art journal or junk journal, or, you can do whatever you want to do. And so now I'm going to drag some of this blue Stabilo right into the text that I've written here. And dragging it right through this orange. And there we go. So there's this over here where I've added, color, warm colors mixed in with some cools, but I've still let a lot of the brown paper show through. This is where I added collage, and this is where I simply added my black paint and my Stabilo. And over here, I added some white paint. Now, as you can see, this is much more contrasting, the black against the brown paper, than the white. Now, this is cream, it's not white, but if you wanted to use a titanium white, it might stand out a little bit more, but it's still going to be more subdued. And that's fine. You don't always want something that's high contrast. I mean, sometimes you do, like this, and sometimes you don't. And now what I can do is I can go in and say, for example, I'm not going to do anything to this because it's not fully dry with the collage and the Mod Podge. But say over here, and this is wet as well. So I'm going to move that off to the side. But this is still my first layers. And what I can do is, okay, let me fold this up and crease it. So I know this would be my, front side, and this would be my back side. So now what I can do is I can say draw a figure. This is still my first layers. And now I'm going to let this completely dry. I hope that this has inspired you to play, have fun, be curious, experiment, be in beginner's mind, and just expand your possibilities. Let your creativity lead you. And, just simply be in the moment and try out new things. But I hope this has inspired you. And thank you so much for watching till the end. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.